Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. We have gone live on YouTube. Let me start the session with the warm-up video.
Residents of East Bengaluru, hear this out. In 10 locations near you, Sri Krishna Janmashtami 2024 will be celebrated by ISKCON Whitefield. Over 1 lakh devotees attended last year and more are expected this year. Over 10,000 people donated for the Archana, Annadan and other sevas. Over 3,000 kids participated in different kids competitions. Over 100 cultural performances took place. Shri Radha Krishna's Abhishekam was performed in all these locations with grand success. Over 1,000 bhoga preparations were cooked by the devotees and offered to the Lord. All the devotees were served delicious Krishna prasadam and they also took part in many other activities. What are you waiting for? 26th August 2024. Save the date and join us for Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav 2024. Lot of kirtans, stage performances, archana, abhishekam, delicious heart purifying prasadam, many fun activities, and much more. Don't forget to click the link or scan the QR code to book your seva to avoid last minute rush. Nand ke ghar anand bhayo, Jai Kanhaiya Lal ki, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Give me one moment to check whether we are live. I I am checking the channel also once. Can someone please confirm whether we've gone live before we start the session? Anybody who has access to ISKCON Whitefield? Because I'm not seeing that lately, but Zoom is telling that we've gone live. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me check again. Yes, we've gone live. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to yet another night of Krishna Ratri, where we bring to you exciting and enchanting stories of our beloved Lord Shri Krishna. Today, the topic is Prayers by Indra, the King of Heaven. And we will learn about how King Indra offers sincere prayers to Krishna, acknowledging his supremacy and begging for forgiveness for his earlier pride and ignorance. Today, our speaker is His Grace Mohan Rupa Madhusudan Prabhuji, who has over 10 years of experience in Krishna consciousness and is a disciple of His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj Ji. Mohan Rupa Prabhuji has had more than 5 years of leadership as a Bhakti Vriksha leader, and he is also receiving guidance from His Grace Bandhu Madhav Prabhuji. In his material life, he holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical and a postgraduate diploma in Avionics Management. With over 19 years of experience at HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, he has been serving in various managerial capacities. A big Hari Bol to Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the stage is all yours.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna to all of you. Thank you, Mataji. So I welcome you all again for this Krishna Ratri series. Hope I can share something valuable for you to this night. So before going to the topic, we'll have a small prayer. नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'll just share the screen. Screen is visible for you.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
So after you had heard the lovely pastime of Govardhan of Lord Krishna actually taking the uh, Govardhan hill and actually protecting the peoples of inhabitants of Vrindavana, and then completely uh, uh, our Indra got shattered by seeing the opulence of Krishna, how he was actually able to lift the Govardhan hill, and with all his power, he couldn't actually do anything to the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And he was shocked with that. And after that, as you know, the Indra actually was surrendered to Krishna. And then when he wanted to surrender to Krishna, so he came down here into this material world and then offered prayers to Lord Krishna. So in this particular chapter, we shall learn about three things I would like to share with you in this minimum time what we have. So first of all, we'll learn from this chapter that what is actually prayer, what is the importance of a prayer, and what should be the mood of a devotee when offering a prayer. And secondly, we will learn what was the position of Indra, who is actually Indra representing. And thirdly, we will learn who is actually Krishna and what is his position. And then another one more thing is like we see here actually they in front of Indra there is actually Surabhi who is actually standing along with Indra. So how actually Surabhi made an impact by being with Indra. So all these four things we will try to learn from this chapter. Okay, so we'll start with firstly with the prayers part. So, what is actually a prayer? Generally, when we talk about a prayer in the mundane world, we actually see like when we offer go to temple, like in the initial days also when I used to offer my prayers, I used to actually ask to the Lord that somehow Lord make me get secure a first rank or a first class in my degree so that I will actually come and visit your temple. So mostly, if you see our prayers in the mundane world or mundane prayers are actually something in exchange there is always an exchange of something. It's mostly in terms of business. You give me something, I will give you something. So this is what we have been knowing that is prayers. But actually, what is really prayers? Who are there? Who are there in the prayers? If you see in the prayers, there are actually two entities. So there are two entities. In the two entities, one is a superior entity, and there is another person who is an inferior entity. So here, Indra actually refers a inferior entity, and Krishna actually represents a superior entity. Now, how come I say all this? I say when it comes to prayers, we should actually learn it from Prabhupada's books, and we should learn it from stories which is written in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually a wonderful package of books that Prabhupada has given us to learn so many things about our dharma, especially about our Sanatana dharma. Srimad Bhagavatam tells through various stories what is actually really prayers. We can see in Srimad Bhagavatam the prayers of Kunti Maharani, the prayers of Gajendra, the prayers of Dhruva Maharaj, the prayers of Lord Shiva. So, what is actually happening if you see in every situation? I will just take an example of a Gajendra Moksha story, where you would have seen the picture of actually the elephant actually being bitten by the crocodile, and actually it is actually raising a flower towards the sky, and actually Lord actually comes from the Vaikuntha in his vehicle Garuda. So what actually happens is here is that the inferior entity who is actually Gajendra Gajendra feels that was a very powerful person. And when he actually was caught by crocodile, inhabitant or the crocodile in the water, he felt that he can actually overcome that power. But what happened? After some time, he felt that he's actually helpless in this condition, and he actually has to take shelter of somebody. So at that point of time, he became completely helpless and he just surrendered onto a superior entity. And that superior entity was the Supreme Lord. And then he asked for the help from the superior Lord that somehow actually protect me. I am actually surrendering onto you. Please protect me. That's what he offered in the form of prayers. And Lord actually comes and protected him. Similarly, in the case of Kunti Maharani also, when the Lord was with Kunti Maharani, Kunti Maharani was very happy. But when Lord actually left the Hastinapur, Kunti Maharani was actually not able to tolerate the when Krishna was living living Hastinapur, and she actually started offering prayers. Oh Lord, somehow you be with us, even though we may be in great difficulties, but just when you are there, we are actually able to tolerate everything. So she again says her helplessness. She is in a helpless condition and is actually taking complete shelter of the Lord. So similarly, whenever we offer a prayer, we should know that we are an inferior entity who is offering prayers to the superior entity, and the attitude of the inferior entity in that particular point of time should be a mood of surrender, a mood of helplessness, a mood that in this material condition I am in no control. I am actually not able to control anything. Just like Indra thought that I am actually controlling everything, but at the end he came to know that I could not actually do anything. Then he actually completely came and surrendered to the Lord. So that is how he actually comes. So our mood when we are offering prayers, that we should feel that we are completely in a helpless condition in this material world, and only one person can help us, and that is the superior entity. And that superior entity is nothing but the Supreme Lord Krishna. So in that point of time, we offer our prayers in the form of obeisances. We offer the prayers in the form of glorification. We offer the prayers in the form of reciting the prayers which is being told by other devotees. We actually offer the prayers, and in all our prayers we just offer in such a way that we ask for complete shelter of the Lord. So that's how actually our prayer should be. So just with this brief point, we'll just move on. um, yeah. Now coming to the second point. So second point was like, what is Indra's position? What is he actually reflecting here? So Indra is actually like reflecting here the position of a diva. Krishna says about diva, Mama eva amsha. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, Mama eva amsha jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana mana shastrani indriyani prakristani karshati. So he says, Krishna says, the living entity is actually my part and parcel, but he is suffering here because of his senses and the mind. We are suffering in this material world because of our senses and the mind, and that is actually giving us suffering. Similarly, in the case of Indra also, Indra actually came up with this false prestige of false ego because of his senses. He thought that I am actually the supreme controller. I am actually control. I am the one who is giving the reign to these people. And these people, this Vrindavan peoples, have actually neglected me and actually are taking shelter of somebody, are actually hearing to the words of somebody. His false ego actually came into position, and he actually wanted to actually, through the influence of his senses, he wanted to actually devour the whole of Vrindavan. So that actually was a great offense that was created by Indra, especially because of his senses and his material condition. So Indra here is actually representing the condition of the jiva. So that was the offense he made. But Indra was actually Indra is actually a great devotee of the Lord. So he was in the Sattva. Mostly the demigods are actually said to be in the mode of goodness. So Krishna gives a nice verse in Bhagavad Gita about intelligence. He tells this in the 18.3 verse, where he says, Pravritrimcha Nivritrimcha. An intelligent person is one who knows what to be done and what not to be done. And he always takes the reference of the Shastras in actually deciding what to be done and not to be done. So when Indra was actually when his false ego was overtaken, and when he saw that Krishna's position was much, much superior, that Krishna is none other than Supreme Lord, because he is the only person who can actually control everything. Indra immediately understood that I am actually a servant, I am not a supreme controller. There is somebody who is actually able to control even my influences. So immediately he was in Sattva Guna, he was a demigod. That's why he was able to understand this position. But you take the example of Hiranyakashipu, you take the example of Ravana, Lord gave them multiple choices, but they were in the mode of ignorance. They were not able to actually recognize their false ego and actually come back with realizations. So that actually Indra is teaching that when we are in the mode of goodness, we may be conditioned and we may actually create offenses, but immediately we can realize our position and then come back and offer our surrender to Krishna. So that is the third point, which says that immediately Indra actually was able to realize his position through his proper intelligence and was able to surrender at the lotus feet of the Krishna. So that is Indra, who is actually reflecting the position of a Jiva. Similarly, we also should reflect upon the position of Indra and actually should overcome our offenses by offering our surrender to the Supreme Lord. Next, what is the position of Krishna here? Why is he actually doing this pastime here? See, Krishna is acting just like our father. So whenever a father sees that his son is actually not performing his duty properly, then the father wants to help him in such a way that he understands his proper position. So in in one of the purport in the same chapter, Prabhupada nicely mentions here that how Lord actually acts upon a person who is rich in opulence. Sometimes Lord acts in such a way that who is actually nicely engaged in a devotee who is actually rich in opulence and is engaged in devotional service, sometimes because of false pride, may actually come with ahankara. So to overcome that ahankara, that false prestige, Krishna may actually take up all the rich opulences from him and then make him surrender to him. So we should not understand that okay, if we surrender to Krishna, then will he take all our opulences? No, that's not the meaning. The meaning is here is that Krishna wants to understand as that our real position is to actually serve the Lord, and to serve the Lord, we should actually overcome the position of this false ego. Only when we can overcome this false ego, then only we can subdue this kama, krodha, and greed. All these things can be subdued. So Krishna is acting as a father and actually teaching us how actually we can overcome our pride through the pastime of the Indra. So in Krishna acts here as a father, and he ensures he is actually giving a special mercy through enacting this pastime. So Prabhupada also says that a person who is actually nicely engaged in a devotional service, Krishna actually gives him a special mercy by taking from him his opulences and then make him actually surrender to the Supreme Lord. Right. So that's what Prabhupada also says here. So it is our duty to actually understand that Krishna, whatever he is doing in our life, is acting as our father, and it is for our well-being that is he is doing. Just like a teacher or a parent who is actually chastising his student, it is for the well-being of the student. A student can understand only when he actually comes out with the result, out on the result day. So similarly, we can also understand this position when we actually understand our real position. So that is the position of Krishna. Now, now let's come to the fourth point. Now, what is actually Surabhi doing here? See here, as I said, Indra was a very intelligent guy. Like his intelligence was acting in the mode of goodness. So whenever you have done an offense and then you have realized it, now going and offering your prayers, like you want to actually ask for forgiveness, how do you approach? An intelligent person knows how to approach. Now that you have had the realization, how do you actually make the other person understand that yes, I have realized my mistake? So Indra was very thoughtful in that process, and he actually thought that what is actually is very dear to my Lord. So he actually tries to know what the other person actually is very much dear of. So we all know Krishna is actually he's actually Gopriya. He's actually Namo Brahmanya Deva. Every day we recite this prayer. Namo Brahmanya Deva Go. Is he for him the Brahmanas and the Go, the cows are very dear to him. Immediately Indra could understand that if I go directly also, Krishna might not forgive me. But if I can take a cow along with me, I have a cow which is Surabhi, and if I can take Surabhi along with me, then immediately seeing after Surabhi, he will become happy. And then when he is happy, then immediately I can ask for my
Makes
forgiveness.
every day nows also. Nice.
Right. So this is the position of Indra. Indra nicely used his intelligence and it took uh, Surabhi along with him. Just by seeing Surabhi, Lord actually became happy, and then he actually offers his prayers in the form of glorification to Krishna. So Krishna immediately also understood that this my devotee is very smart enough to know that what I actually like, and he has understood his position. At the same time, he is actually offering prayers onto me. So that was what I want, and that is what he has is he's doing also. That's what actually we understand from the position of the Surabhi. So after that, we know like all the celestial demigods actually come in and offer the showers onto the Lord, and Lord actually blesses all of them. Then after he offers the prayers to the Lord and understands his position, Indra actually departs from that site. So here, the lessons that we are learning through Krishna consciousness is that the first lesson as Indra, we should actually always subdue our false pride. Our false pride is actually the cause of our suffering. And all that difficulties that we are facing is because we don't understand our Swarupa. Our Swarupa is actually to be a servant. Our position is to be a servant. And we are not here to order the Lord. We are here to receive the orders of the Lord. So our prayer should be in the glorification of the Lord without any desires. So when we don't desire anything and offer our prayers, offer the glorification to the Lord, then we become purified, and Lord knows what is best for us, and He can subdue the great mercy upon us. But when we actually start with the prayers, then He will give only what we want. But when we ask the Lord to shower His mercy, then He knows what is to be given to us, and then He will shower the mercy upon us. And that by that purification, we can achieve the real purpose of our life. And just ending the session and by telling that our real position is that we are eternally the servants of the Lord, and Lord is eternally our master. So just by serving the Lord, we actually can become Satchid Ananda. We say Chid Ananda. So what is Chid Ananda? In every activities that we do in the material world, there is some kind of happiness we receive. But the same activity, when you do repeatedly, you may not get that happiness. For example, you take rasgulla. First time it may be very nice. Second time it may be nice. Third time it may be very okay. Fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, you will say, no, Baba, no, I don't want rasgulla itself. You will say. So in material world, anything you want to take it, after some time you will actually become frustrated with it. But Chit Ananda means like it is in the eternal world, in the spiritual world, the activities that you do in the association of the Lord, you will get more and more happiness. The happiness is increasing more and more. Just by performing that activities in the spiritual world, you become you get so much of spiritual bliss. So that Ananda is actually what? It cannot be measured at all. It will increase double fold, multiple folds. For that Ananda, we should actually anchor. And for that, we should actually surrender to the Supreme Lord, because our position is that we should actually always serve the Lord. And in that position, we can achieve our real happiness. So, with these few words, I will stop here in the interest of time. Thank you for your patient listening. Thanks, Mataji, for giving opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. A big Hare Krishna for you. Thank you so much. It was a really captivating session because you brought out the elements of human pride and so beautifully. So thank you very much. And we can personal comments. We can write how this session affected us. We can also write in the chat so that everybody can see. And it's now time to share the slide deck, which summarizes the activities which we are doing for Janmashtami near our place, near where we stay. So as you can see on the screen, the Janmashtami is being celebrated in 10 locations. So please find a center near you and go and visit that. Be a part of this grand celebration. Join us at Janmashtami, where lakhs of hearts of devotees are beating as one, united in Krishna consciousness, where you'll get enchanted by spiritual ecstatic kirtans, abhishekam, prasadam, um, devotional books, and so much more. And I'm just coming from the center. In fact, Prabhuji was also there, and you can see all turmeric in my hands. So our center is hustling, bustling with activity. We're preparing for the big day, and I'm sure y'all are also at your centers. So these are some statistics for the last year. And let's be a part. Let's make this Janmashtami bigger and bolder and better than the last one. And with that, it's time to announce the winner of yesterday. That is Sakshi Mataji. A big Hari bol to Sakshi Mataji. Are you there? If you're there, please come on video. You can raise your hand as well. Yes. Many, many congratulations, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, now fastest finger first and the most right answers get the be is the winner. So I'm rolling out the quiz. Let me know if you can see it in the group chat. Hare Krishna, everyone can see? So we'll give it about 4 minutes for everyone to complete. And I'll